Hey guys, just before we get started, I want to apologize for my audio. I was obviously holding the mic way too close to my mouth. I didn't realize how sensitive they were. I'm so sorry, but please still enjoy the pod.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Girls in the Paddock. Today you're here with Georgia and Lara. And what are we doing today?
We are
Symbols.
ranking the 2023 F1 grid. We are ranking it based on their driving ability and their potential for the season. We're just looking at the first few races we've had of the season. This is not at all based on how much we like them or don't like them. Otherwise, the ratings would be very different.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. I will share our screen. So here we are. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll start with Alex. So hit me. What are you thinking? Quite a
See,
solid start, but had a few issues.
Alex is really conflicting for me because if we're going, like, I guess I have to be very objective about his racing of
Yep.
this season so far because he has so much potential and I know that he can do so well. He's just had
Bit of bad luck,
maybe not the
really.
best start to the season.
Yeah, no, definitely a
Um,
bit of bad luck. Like we saw him P8 in Australia, which was awesome for qualifying.
I
So it
know.
was looking really good. It's pulling through, but of course there was,
Mm,
the 3,000 red flags there. So everything I
yeah,
think for everyone started to crumble really quick in
totally.
Australia.
I really think that those red flags, like, I understand why they happened, but
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like I really think that that affected the racing so much. Like the way that people drove, it really affected them.
yeah, definitely get what you mean. But yeah,
But
other than that, he's done pretty well. I'm pretty sure he had DNF as well in round 2. I believe so.
I can tell you, I've got
Pretty
my
sure
little
he did.
notebook here.
Yeah. He's got a little notebook. Yeah, he did. He had a DNF in round 2, but round 1 in Bahrain
Yeah,
was looking pretty
in
good for him.
Bahrain, he finished 10th.
Yeah, so in the points, yeah. I know that because
Yeah,
he was in my fantasy team, so
love it.
he
Yeah,
was
so
great.
look,
Turning
unfortunately,
everything.
he's had a P10 and two DNFs.
Yeah, so it's been a
Now
bit of a rough
look,
start, but like you said, there's definitely
um,
potential.
for the Oz GP DNF, that's a little bit of a toughie there,
Yeah,
because that wasn't explicitly like just his fault, and it wasn't like not his fault, and it was like it's a little bit complicated. But
yeah, definitely.
he qualified P8, so I think if he had have been able to keep racing, he probably would have finished in the points.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Um,
I reckon he would have ended up in the points in that race.
but
But like we said, that was a pretty unfortunate race for like, yeah, half the grid. So
mm, yeah, so I'm thinking either B or C tier. What do you reckon?
yeah, I'm thinking more C. I think for now, definitely more
Yeah,
C. And we'll do a review of this list that we've done probably like during their summer break. And so, kind of
yeah,
halfway, we'll come back, see where we had them, and do a review. So for now, we're gonna put Mr. Albon, I think, in C. You happy to do C?
yep. Happy with
Yep.
C.
Awesome. Let's go.
Straight
Next,
away, I want to say with Fernando Alonso, I feel like he
maybe just do
deserves.
it.
Anyways, I just think he's had a really interesting season so far. Okay,
2023 World Champ. Let's add it to the bingo
2023 World
card if
Champ
that
Fernando
wins.
Alonso.
Could you imagine? What a
Um,
twist. What a twist.
imagine,
Like, honestly.
but like seriously, that would give Fernando Alonso an
That'll give him the power
interesting.
he doesn't need.
No, no,
That,
he does not need that power for sure.
but it has been awesome seeing him back up in podiums, like three P3s
Yeah,
or two
I mean,
P3s. One P.
it'd make him a three-time world champ.
Yeah, yeah. Like, and yeah, he's been racing pretty solid, especially compared to Lance this season. Been
Yeah, for
looking
sure.
good. pretty
I
good
think,
for him, and I'm hoping we see him on the podium throughout the year. Honestly, like I'm kind of hoping that he stays up there. This could be like his villain era redemption moment. He's coming back from the flames and ready to mess shit up. So I'm hoping our man stays up on the podium. And who knows? We could get if we get a win out of him. I'll be pretty happy.
yeah.
I'll
Look,
celebrate to that.
look, it says I've got, according to my little driver profile, he's won 32 times across the
Yes.
course of his career, which, as we all know, has been a very long career.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. There's definitely potential for him in there,
Oh,
and he's definitely
100%.
had a super super interesting start to the season.
I mean, I
And I
think
think
with the Oz GP, like you said, with half the grid vanishing, it's kind of like hard to pray. Like he did drive amazingly all day in
totally,
Oz, and then with all the penalties boosted up in the P3, so it's kind of like. But I still honestly think his driving that day was really well done.
yeah, for sure. I mean, he managed to really stay out of all of it, except
Yeah,
for that
exactly. I mean, he
incident
had his
with
little clip
signs.
on with science, but other than that, um,
I think I'd call him what, like A
yeah,
tier?
definitely. At the moment, he is in our A tier, 100% for sure. Chuck him in. Now, would you like me to introduce the next person, or do you just want to shout out their name and then get through it? Because or
Valtteri
is that
Bottas.
reserved? Is that reserved? Next is, proclaimed Australian Valtteri Bottas. So, yeah, what
Proclaimed.
are your thoughts so far? Let you take lead. Okay.
My thoughts so far on Valtteri Bottas has had an interesting season so far. Um,
Yeah, well,
he's
he's
kind of
been
been like,
in the points and then out of the points, then
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's kind of been like not really here nor there.
yeah, I
Um,
think he's kind of warming up, getting into the season, figuring out this year's car, kind of,
for sure. Um,
and there's
because
been
we
some
had
like
him,
breaks between the races, so there's a lot of kind of off time to
yeah,
get into that straight up flow. So
and like obviously we had a bit of a DNF in Melbourne,
yeah,
so that's
did he
kind of,
DNF in Melbourne?
yeah. I've got that written here that he DNF'd.
Oh, I don't remember that. Maybe I
Unless,
need to rewatch the race. Let me look.
oh wait, no, 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 no. I
I
can't
didn't.
read.
I
No,
didn't
no, no.
think he did.
Don't worry. I was like, I was
I was
also
gonna say, I'm pretty
no,
sure he
no,
was
no.
one of the
I was also
survivors.
confused because I was like, I don't remember that happening, but
No,
I just
that
can't
neither.
read.
I was like, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Valtteri was a survivor that day.
I
Not
just
gonna
got,
lie.
guys. You're gonna come to learn that I can't read. I just can't
Oh,
read.
we're
Like,
crazy now.
I just skim over information, and
And here we are,
yeah.
butchering it.
But then he finished 18th in Saudi
Yeah, because I was gonna say he hasn't DNF'd yet.
and 8th
Oh,
in Bahrain. So
yeah,
he's had one points finish and two outside the points.
yeah.
Um, so
Other
I
than
don't
that,
know.
I would
Personally, I
say
think
he's
maybe
pretty
he's
behind the pack until everyone called it quits for the day.
totally. I think it would have been interesting if we hadn't have had so many DNFs in Melbourne,
Oh,
as to like what the race outcome would have
yeah,
actually been.
yeah. I've got no words. It
But
could have literally been a completely different race. Hundred
what are you
percent.
thinking tier wise?
I'm probably thinking more D for now because honestly, like you said, he's been in and he's been out. Oz
D,
again, kind of
really?
one of those. Was it a fluke sort of thing? I mean, he has been driving
Yeah,
good, but I don't want to say that because I do love Valtteri. And it's hard because
I
like,
know.
I don't want to put him in D, but I think for now we're in D.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
We've got it. We're trying our hardest to be very objective here, but like obviously, as you can see,
I know. I'm trying to
like
like
we
not
love
let
these drivers.
favorites in.
Like it's hard. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
next
trying
up
not to
we
let
have
favorites in to do this right. And like you said, we'll come back mid-season, do a review, um,
yeah, for
and
sure.
yeah, have a change of heart on
So
how we do.
next up we have rookie number one, Nick DeVries. Talk me through what you're thinking.
Well, Oz was, yeah, another bad race for him. I mean, he crashed out right in front of turn one, turn two
Turn
around
two.
it. Yeah. What the
It
fuck?
was turn two.
I can't remember. I was sitting right there. I was sitting
I
right
was
there.
I was standing there and
Yeah,
we
because I was
watched
in the
them like
podium
walk out of
stand.
their cars.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I mean, I think there's a lot of hype around it because of last year. I mean, he got P14 in, I
I
think it was
mean,
Saudi. So
look,
like, I think honestly, hopefully he can pull something out of the bag.
yeah, and
I
look, I
don't think
want to
he's a
say the
bad driver, and
difference, but
again, it's a rookie year, so he's got time to
totally.
improve.
And I mean, also the difference between last year, like where he just jumped in a car, and this year is that the AlphaTauri car is not, it's not bad by any means, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, definitely. And like what last year he scored points. It wasn't even in the AlphaTauri, was it? Was it in the Williams?
It was in the
Yeah, it was in the
Williams,
Williams because he murdered Latifi's career from that day. It was
literally.
game over for him.
Like it was
So
just proof that like this guy who's never driven in an F1 car, because obviously he came up through the junior series, but then he's never
yeah,
driven an F1 car, um, jumped in the race and beat the crap out of you.
yeah, literally. So everyone was like, "Whoa!" And I think the memes on it of Nick ruining this man's career was just felt really bad. But I think because of that, everyone's expecting quite a bit
Guys, I
from
think we
Nick.
lost
But like I
Georgia.
said, yeah, he's done P14 and I think he actually done P14 twice. I think both in Saudi and Bahrain. Yeah, he did. So, um, I think definitely there's potential there.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
I
he
think
figures out
also
the car.
points for consistency. Even
Yeah,
if they're not the best race finishes, points for
I mean,
consistency.
his car definitely didn't look like it had the pace in Oz. Like he was overlapped, but both him and Sargent were overlapped.
Mm. I
By
mean,
the race
like we
leader.
do have to be
So
a little bit fair to them. It is their rookie season,
yeah, no, definitely,
and
definitely.
especially for Nick, like he was an FE driver, and he's
Yeah,
just
and I think
coming across for the first time. So,
yeah,
and I mean, the whole race was chaos.
yeah, and I think
So,
he's like we said, he's got a different kind of pressure on him because of sort of expectations from everyone. But I'm
yeah,
hoping he gets some consistency throughout this season and gets up there. But I think for now it's
I
hard.
would
It's hard.
say C,
Yeah,
maybe just
okay.
for, like points for consistency.
I was
Um,
thinking that because I was going to say D, but like I was thinking points for consistency too. So it's kind of like probably more C in that sense.
yeah,
Um,
probably C.
yeah, do C.
C.
Alright. Ah, Pierre Gasly. Thoughts so far?
Mr. Pierre Gasly.
Bit of
You
an
are
unfortunate race finish in Oz.
he's definitely one to watch for sure. Um as we know, the Alpine is running pretty strong this season.
Yeah,
Um but obviously he had a bit of a situation. Some French on French at the AusGP.
French on French accent. Action. As you do.
Yeah, a bit of French on French accent
No.
action. I can't speak at the AusGP, but other than that, like he finished
He
ninth
and
in Bahrain
yeah,
and
13th. Yeah.
ninth in Saudi.
Was it 9th? I'm looking at the Oz GP. That's why.
He finished ninth in Bahrain and in Saudi, so
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one.
pretty good.
Sorry.
And I think he was definitely slated for points, if not a podium even at the
Oh,
AusGP.
everyone in my grandstand at the Oz GP was just screaming out for Gasly for a podium. Like, eliminate the rest of them. Gasly for podium in Oz. I think everyone was going crazy for it. And then when everything happened, you just hear everyone go, no! I was like,
That
yeah,
was me though. I was like, now
I
that
get
Alex is like gone, put all my faith in Pierre Gasly. And
it.
then he just said, nah, nah.
Yeah, no, I need a Pierre win this year. For sure.
If I don't get a Pierre win
Or
this year,
podium at least. Like,
I'll
come on.
stop watching F1. That's my threat to Pierre Gasly.
Well, I want to see him win for that mullet. I don't know if that's something he can pull off, but I would love to see it.
Anyways, what do you reckon? I think B tier
B, yeah, yeah. I
because
mean, he was doing
he's
really
finished
well.
ninth twice.
Yeah,
And he was running fifth before he crashed.
yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. If you're thinking B, I was probably leaning a bit towards C. I think I'm a way more harsher judger than you.
Clearly, you are. You're just
Like,
like put everyone in D tier.
I know. Like, I feel, I feel like I look at one bad result, and that's it. Call it.
Gone. See
Gone.
ya.
They're out. They're done.
Eliminated from the
Get out of
island.
here. Pack your bags. No, I do think, yeah, B. I can accept B tier. I'll allow it.
Okay, B tier.
I'll allow it.
Next up, we have Mr. Or sorry, I should say Sir
Thank
Lewis
you.
Hamilton.
Have some respect. My gosh.
I love Lewis. I just forget that he's knighted sometimes.
I know, so do I. Like, sometimes it's something that just goes, like, through my head and I completely forget.
Literally. Although he did say he was disappointed that they had taken away the fact that knights could knight other people.
Wait, they can't.
No, like
I didn't
people
think
that are
they could.
knighted can't go and knight another person. It has to
Could
be
you just
done by like.
imagine Lewis and the grid just...
But that's the thing. Lewis was like, I'd just be walking around being like, "You're knighted, you're knighted, you're
Yeah,
knighted."
literally, could you imagine? Ted
We'd
would be
have
there
like
like,
Danny
Lewis,
Rick would be
please.
knighted by now.
Lewis.
Like that's for sure. Oh my god, imagine Sir George Russell.
That doesn't...
Sir
That gives me a
George
weird kind of
William
vibe.
Russell.
I don't know, that kind of gives me like an icky vibe. I like George
I know.
though. This
I
Sir
know.
kind of makes me
Just
nervous. I think
just
it's a very British name.
just because I don't have anything against George Russell. I love George. Just his name is just so British.
Yeah, literally. And if you chuck in Sir in front of it, I don't know how like much I could work with that. That would be a bit
Anyways,
challenging. Back to the
back to Lewis.
podium in Oz, which that was very exciting to see him in second.
Hmm.
He did a good race, but gosh, that gap between him and the Red
And
Bull,
Max,
yeah, that 10-second
insane.
gap. Like we were saying in the podcast the other week, like you could literally sit there and in person you'd see Max, then you're going like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, like I definitely
waiting
like
for
I
Lewis.
remember
Like
it in real time, but watching it back while I was editing, I was like, this is crazy.
yeah, it was such a slow gap. Like
Mm.
but I honestly think that that's more the Red Bull and Max as a driver. Like those Red Bulls are on something. Like they've literally given them wings.
Those
Like
Red Bulls are on fucking steroids. And I mean the cars, not the drivers, just by the way.
they're all on steroids. That's the issue.
I mean,
And yeah, then
put Danny in the Red Bull.
yeah,
See what happens. Fuck around and find out.
yeah. I don't know. I think like I would love to see Danny back in, but I do think Checker has obviously got potential. I know we've spoken about this between you and I before,
Mm.
and we'll probably touch on that on
Yeah,
an episode a
next
bit more when
episode
we
or
talk more
something.
about the drivers, or when we get to Checo. If we could focus on Lewis, please.
Yes, back to
So
Lewis.
fifth, sixth,
Lewis.
and
So
second.
fifth and fifth, and a podium.
Yeah. So it's
So
pretty solid. I think it could. I hope it's a good year for him after last year. That was quite painful.
unfortunate. Quite
Yeah. So I'm hoping this
disheartening.
year we're getting something a bit better, a bit bit more
Yeah.
competition between him and Max, bringing all that back. Even with the Ferraris, but I
Mm.
definitely don't think this is the last podium he's going to get for the season.
It,
I don't know how
it
he's going to go
definitely
for a
won't
win.
be
I think getting past these Red Bulls is going to be very difficult and very kind of
tough.
fluke wise, or unless strategies are made to actually get
Mm.
past them, kind of thing. To
Yeah, I think
figure out.
because we've only had 3 races so far, it's just so hard to tell
Yeah,
what's
exactly.
going to
It's
happen
more, yeah. We're more
because
just
there's
wanting to
just been
put.
so much variation across the board. Like
Oh,
apart from
exactly.
like I'd say the Red Bulls are the most consistent, but other than that, like everyone's been up and down and around and
Yeah. And
everywhere.
like we said, this is just our perspective so far to kind of get an
Yes.
idea of, I guess, what to expect from them for the rest of the season and what we're like.
Yeah.
Hopefully we do see them all moving up on the tier list in the summer break.
Yeah,
Fingers
hopefully.
crossed. But for
So
Lewis, I'm probably putting him up. you're gonna get mad at me. I'm thinking like B or A. Like
See, I was leaning towards A,
A,
podium and
he's got to the podium. He's been
consistency.
in the points twice and high up at the points. He is driving very consistently.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just so harsh. Like I'm just basing this to. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not giving them
Georgia
any
ju-
like future.
Georgia's just like, no one deserves S tier. They all
I'm just like
deserve
no one
B
deserves
tier.
past C. Because I need to think of the future as well. I'm too busy thinking of right now where I'm like, okay, no, I like, yeah, I think I don't know. Yeah, okay, we can do A. You want to do A?
Okay.
We can do A. Oh,
Next we have um
Nico
Nico Hulkenberg
Hulkenberg
returning to F1.
making his great return as you do. Been out of the
Yeah.
game for a little while. Decided he's going to hop on back in. Um,
Um
he was doing pretty good in Oz. I think
he
everyone was starting to have another holy shit. Is this, is this a podium moment? Um,
it
for
was
him as
definitely
well. It
never
wasn't.
going to be a podium moment. I'm so sorry to Nico Hulkenberg, but
I'll
like
let him know personally that you said that. That some chick on the
um
internet.
please do.
I will.
Nico Hulkenberg
Could you
never had a
imagine
podium in
making
his
him that way in
life.
Oz?
Nico never had a podium in his life. Hulkenberg.
Very
Um,
aggressive with it.
he
15th
finished
in Bahrain,
15th. Yeah, and
12 in Saudi.
yeah, 15th and 12th, and then 7th.
Yeah, because Haas had tried to revoke what they tried to do with the FIA. They something about the grid restart again when we had another
Yeah, they
like
weren't
restart.
happy
He
with
was
how.
saying that yeah, that's how he could have had podium because he would have been way higher up on the grid
Yeah,
than
they
what
weren't
he
happy
was.
with how Nico Hulkenberg was seated, and I was like, they
Yeah,
didn't even complete a turn. They basically completed maybe one turn,
they
and
literally
that
said
was
hello
it.
to the turn and then called it quits again. Like it was just
Like they had to go back
typical
to what they
technology.
knew, and what they knew was Nico Hulkenberg down. Like
Yeah,
that was
I
just
mean
what
it's
it was.
fair to give it a go and revoke it. I mean, why not? You see what happens, but yeah, obviously
Yeah,
it wasn't going to really go the way they were expecting. I think. But
yeah,
he's someone else who's been pretty, consistent. Like the Haas cars in themselves, like not consistent, like well, consistent. No, he has. He hasn't been up in the points, but he hasn't been at the bottom of the grid. Like
mm.
he's kind of been floating in that middle where if
Look,
he
I
can
think
push the
Nico
car, he can push
Hulkenberg.
the car. But
I
I
think
don't, like you said, I don't see him doing podiums
Yeah. See, this is
anytime
the thing.
soon.
I think Nico Hulkenberg is a good and consistent driver, which is probably what Haas needs. Haas
Yeah,
probably just
definitely.
needs a driver that's gonna run and they're gonna do not like podiums, but they're not gonna do badly by any
Yeah,
means.
and like,
And
look,
they
I
just need
can
a
see him
car
getting
that
in the
can
points.
just do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I can definitely see him getting into the points, maybe a few times
Mm,
this season, just
hmm
with the way everyone else has been going and basing this off, now. I could potentially see him in the points, 10th, ninth sort of action. I
mm,
mean, K Mag was in the points too
hmm
recently, Saudi, I believe. So yeah, I do
Yeah.
think
I
there's
don't know. I'm thinking maybe C
yeah,
tier
I'm
to
thinking C, C
Hulkenberg.
behind Nick or C in front of Nick.
I mean, I wouldn't really call the tiers their own rankings. They just are what they are.
No, I'm putting them in a line now. I'm ordering
Okay,
them.
you can rank them however you would like within the tiers. I don't
Yeah,
care.
right. Oh, now I've put myself in a position where I don't know where I want. Now I'm like, oh shit. Okay, no, we won't do that because then we'll be here all night. Because honestly,
Okay,
I will argue it with you for the rest of the
moving
night.
on. Moving on to Mr. Max Verstappen.
Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max.
Max
The
is
overpitch photos we
just
love.
Max is just ahead of the pack. I
Oh,
don't know what they've done to him,
again, those
but
little wings on those Red Bulls.
he is just an incredible driver.
Do you reckon this could be another championship year for him?
I think there's definitely the potential for it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I
I hope
think,
it gets.
look, I think if Ferrari sorts their shit out,
Yeah.
then Max could have some serious competition.
Well, that's
Clearly,
the thing.
Fernando Alonso and Lewis are kind of always also creeping back in the
Yeah.
background, but Max is a very consistent racer.
Yeah,
He's a
definitely.
very good racer too.
And like
Um,
we were saying, like, last season we saw Charles up there, him doing really well in the first few races, and Max being quite the opposite, having DNFs, not doing well. And so who knows, it could be
yeah,
another switch of the tables where, Max has started really well for this season, Charles hasn't, and then suddenly Charles is back up there. So we'll find
yeah.
out. Hopefully, like you said, Ferrari gets their shit together. But at
Look,
the moment,
honestly,
this is
I don't,
Max's year
I,
again.
I don't see Max like dropping like Charles did last season,
No,
and that
no.
has nothing to do with Max or Charles. It has everything to do with the Ferrari strategists who sucked.
See if they're hiring. I don't know how much would actually know, but if
Pay
I
me
put
a
on a
million
wig
dollars a year.
and a
Pay
little
me a
red
million
nose,
dollars a year
maybe.
to tell you suck.
That's why we're doing a podcast and
No,
not
no,
doing
I'm kidding.
reviews.
I see. Look, there are so many things that I think I could do without experience, but I understand that they're definitely much harder than they look.
Oh,
But
110%. Like
but
it's easier said
but
than done to be like, okay, what are we
Ferrari
doing?
strategists sucked. Like, there's
Mm,
no denying that.
yep.
Like, they
Yeah,
made stupid calls. Anyways,
yeah, 100%.
we're
Back to
focusing on
Maxi.
Max.
Um, I also bit side note on Max. Have you watched his Twitch streams? I love how this man chucks his world championship trophy on his little
On
Red
top
Bull
of his
fridge.
fridge.
What a odd little flex, and how he has a pillow of himself.
I think the thing that we forget is he's still so young.
Yeah, he's only what 25, 26.
25?
Yeah, I
I don't
like
know that
Max. I
for
think he's
sure.
very villainized in the media, and like
For
it's the
sure.
same when Seb was winning consistently. He was the bad guy. I mean, he was a bit of a cocky, but
Well, look, I think the
but
difference
still,
between
you hate
Seb
to
and
win
Max
because
is
you
that
want to see someone else win.
Seb was definitely cocky.
Yeah,
Um, look, he had every right to be. He was winning. He was doing really well. Like, it wasn't like he was losing and being cocky. Like,
yeah, well, exactly.
Seb was in his villain era at Red Bull.
And yeah, and I think Max, he's just kind of vibe, and he's very chill with it all. Like we know he's not a fan of the media, which
Mm,
I don't blame him. I wouldn't be either if I was him.
yeah, and I
And he's
really
just
think
here
he's
to
not a
race.
fan of.
That's what he's here to do, as they all are. But for him, it is just to race, and I think he's had a really good start to the season, first, second,
Mm,
first. And honestly, I feel like that's how it's going to look for the rest of the season with him. Like we said, unless people can pull some things out,
yeah, but totally,
Max
I
is
think
up there.
Max is just a very consistent driver in
Yeah.
a good car that he drives well.
Would we S tier him though?
I would S tier him.
Yeah.
Look, he's finished first twice and second once.
That's
And
true. And if you're gonna
so
put him with Lewis, he's got him fifth, fifth, and second. Yeah.
I think he deserves the S tier.
Yeah. Happy
I
to do
mean,
it.
what do you think?
Well, yeah. Like I
Yeah?
said, you don't probably he's obviously on top of the game when it comes to Alonso and Lewis. So would you really put him in the same category as them, kind of thing? So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy
I
to do
think
S tier.
he's just kind of a step ahead of the two of them. He
Oh
just
yeah,
kind of
definitely. Well, let's take him in. Let's do this.
is.
There we go. He's in. Charles Leclerc,
Charles Leclerc.
not looking good so far. I'm praying for him. He's got a
I really
championship in him. He just needs to bring it out.
I really do worry for him, honestly. I love him to death.
I would have lost it
Um,
by now.
but he has not had a good season so
No,
far.
well, first DNF, I believe, was an electrical issue.
It was.
And then yeah,
And
not
then
on
he
a
finished
podium.
7th,
Yeah, and
and then he
then
DNF'd
out
again.
qualified by Carlos and Oz, I believe.
Yes.
And
Carlos was
then
5th, Shaw was 7th.
yeah, DNF'd in Oz. The thing is with the Oz race in him DNFing so early.
Mm.
I watch another podcast called the Red Flag Podcast, who are hilarious, and they
Oh yeah, I've
cover
seen them.
all this, and they were sort of saying how they don't understand why Charles couldn't continue the race. Like I
I
don't think
think
they're
look, either A, there was damage to the car that we
yeah,
couldn't C, that would have prevented him from racing, or B, it was a mental game.
Yeah, and that's
I
kind of
know
what
I
these.
know he's really struggled mentally with everything that's kind of been going on with the car and with the strategies and all of that. So maybe it was just a bit of a mental thing where it was like, if I get back in this car, I will crash and I will make it worse.
Yeah, like getting a bit of that anxiety, I guess. I mean, that's the hard thing with this because you can't be like that in this kind of sport. But of course, it happens. Like, it's easier said than done to say you can't be like that. And yeah, like in
Yeah.
this podcast, they were saying the same thing. How is it a mental game for him, and he's kind of having that mental battle with himself?
Mm.
Because we saw a lot of people go on the gravel but still continue, and you
Yeah,
do
but
see a lot of people
really,
go on the gravel
really,
and still continue. So
what I really think happened is that there was damage to the car that we couldn't see,
yeah, most
or that
likely.
he was unable to get himself back out of the gravel,
Yeah,
so he just couldn't continue racing.
yeah. Well, if anyone can confirm that for our very basic minds, we would
Yes,
appreciate that.
please, if we're like right or wrong, please feel free to correct
Probably definitely
us.
wrong.
We're just working off what we know. Obviously, we don't know all the facts, so please inform us. But
Yes. Other than that,
as much as it pains me to say, I think he deserves B tier.
yeah, like, look, I think later on in the season we'll definitely see some results from him that are going to be better. I'm hoping we see some
Hmm.
results from him that are going to be better. At the moment, it hasn't really been him. It's been the car. It's just you're having these electrical issues, and then DNFs. What do it's hard.
It's
Like
tough.
I know. Okay, we had a
We are back.
malfunction. We're fine. It's fine.
We
Give me
have
30
some
seconds of a mental
technical issues
breakdown.
all the time. Um,
Newbies. Need to
we
get out.
we've not done a single thing without a tech issue.
Literally, I always like laugh when like streamers and stuff go, "Oh my god, there's an issue," and I'm like, "What kind of issue could you possibly like?" Other than
We
internet. But
faced
now I'm understanding that this is not a game. This is hell.
we faced so many issues. Let me tell you, we could not
Oh,
get
the
Twitch
amount
to
of
work
issues
for
that have
us
just
ever. We've had glitchy cameras, glitchy microphones,
we used a
and
guitar
then
hero microphone for our first pod, so if you've listened to that,
yeah,
that is why the quality is so bad. But we promise we are going to get real
we're
mics.
getting better mics. We're just
We
broke.
promise. Just hold on a little longer, and we promise good is coming.
And then I decided to plug my phone into the charger just then because I thought,
And the
oh,
hell went
my
off.
phone's probably gonna die. And then it just decided to cut out.
Yeah. So, but we're back. All good.
We're
We've
back.
chucked Mr. Leclerc in B, but I put him in
B
front of
tier.
Gasly. Um, that could
Yeah,
be very
guys, this
controversial.
is
Ooh,
within the tiers. Georgia is doing her own personal rankings. I have no opinion on these.
I've done it once. Let's calm down.
Well, you were trying to do it with Nico Hulkenberg too.
I was going to, but then I got nervous. There was too much pressure. I was starting to panic.
All right, moving on to Kevin Magnussen.
Mr. K Mag. Um,
Mr. K Mag has had a time.
has had a time. Well, yeah, first race we've got in P13, P10, and then
P13,
he had a just all of a sudden DNF and
DNF.
Oz. He was doing really well, minding his business, driving along, flogging everyone, doing his thing. Next minute, boom, game over.
Yeah,
Don't know
I
what that
think
was meant to be.
um I think he's been driving like fairly well
Yeah, I
overall.
feel like he's always driving pretty well, like pretty,
Yeah,
not best, but
from
not the worst.
from memory, he's always been pretty, for lack of a better word, medium.
Yes,
Um, he's never done like completely terribly, aside from like
yeah,
the few DNFs he's had. But he's never done like overly fantastically either.
yeah. I mean, he got his first pole position last year.
He did.
That, where are you going? What are you falling for?
What?
So what are you falling for?
Falling for?
Your phone fell.
Oh yeah, because I moved to sit up, more, so my phone fell.
Your phone's still
Because
charged.
my my laptop is on a stand, which is on a pillow resting on my
See,
legs.
I'm a bougie bitch and I have a tripod.
I don't have the money for that.
It was like a $12 tripod. I probably stole it too. I didn't steal anything. Just FYI, I
Georgia.
got accused of stealing today when I was enjoying my time at Kmart. I was just buying a bottle of
That's
water.
that's a story for another
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Stay on task. Stay on task. Stay on
Anyway,
task.
Kevin
Kmart. He's
Magnuson.
yeah.
Okay, I'm calling
That's
Kevin
it. Kevin.
Magnuson C tier.
CT.
That's what I'm calling him.
Yeah, right. I mean, he
Because
was doing
I
really
feel
well in
like,
Oz, I believe, and like I think he
yeah,
got pace. Both the Haas were doing well in Oz. Um,
yes,
and he's been in the points, like so that's good. It's been a pretty good start to the season. I think he is like a mid driver, like you said.
yeah. Like, I don't think he's had an exceptional start to the season. But he hasn't had a bad start either. Like,
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking because we've got Valtteri in D, and we're gonna put K Mag in C. Was that the game plan?
yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to change it?
I don't know. I'm just having a think now. We'll review it at the end and do any changes at the end.
All right.
I love how
Next
you're
we
like
have.
eyeing me off through the camera. I just see like the little squint of like, what is she?
Well, I'm judging your taste.
I'm doing my
No,
best.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just
I
tired.
forget.
I'm just tired. So if my eyes go squinty, it's because I'm falling asleep.
Poor effort. Poor, poor,
I
poor
have
effort.
been up since 6:40 this morning, and I went and did 5 hours of disgusting work.
Oh,
And then I tried to do my uni assignments, and
God, life is hard.
Lando Norris.
Okay, moving on.
Lando Norris.
Mr. Lando Norris is currently driving a nice orange tractor. Hasn't been going well for him. He's
He's
flew
had a
through, or hasn't
17th,
been good.
another 17th, and a 6th.
Yeah. I
Look,
mean,
the 6th was probably a bit of a fluke.
because
I
what did
do
he actually qualify in Oz though? Was he? I'm pretty sure he wasn't bad.
13th.
Yeah, 13th. So he wasn't too bad. Like he wasn't up there. And yeah, a lot of his competition did call it quits. So he was same with Oscar. Like Oscar was in his points as well. So
Mm,
um, obviously we know Lando has potential. He's
mhm,
a
mhm,
driver who has potential. It's just the car at the moment. I mean, they're all been having issues. We know like power issues and
mhm.
all that kind of jazz.
I mean,
So I
like the
think
start of the season is always kind of rough. All they've had to do is testing, and obviously
yeah,
testing is never quite the same as actual race conditions.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so it's
And
kind of
they did some more
difficult.
testing after OzGP, so hopefully they pull something out of the basket for the next race.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anyone brings any upgrades to Baku.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And we'll discuss that when the time comes. When we do
But
our
how do we
re-
feel? How do we feel like tier wise on his
it's hard to
drivability so far?
it's hard to rate him because I feel like it's not him, it's the car.
Mhm.
Like I know he has potential as a driver. He's
Mhm.
someone who's quite often in the points, doing
Mm.
pretty well. But I mean, we've heard from previous McLaren drivers that the McLarens are always hard to tame, hard to get into as a new car. So don't know like if it's one of those seasons where this car's just going to be battling him not
Mhm.
battling everyone else sort of thing. And yeah, so this is a hard one because
Look,
I
I
don't
think
know sort of what.
if we're just going, I think we have to go based on what we've done for everyone else, which is his finishings, which is, I know, a little bit not fair because the car is a lot worse than it could be or should be. But I think we have to be fair. Because if we're going on drivability, I would put him in B tier. I would say that's that. He can drive, he can race, he can be consistent. But I think if we're going based on what we've done for everyone else, I think he's got to be C tier.
C.
Yeah, C or B.
I just said
Do you think
D.
he's in line with Charles and Pierre? I'm
I
not
reckon.
saying he's not. I'm just literally asking if you think so.
Oh, it froze. That's why I didn't answer.
I
Because the
thought
screen was
I thought
frozen,
you
so I
were
was
like
like,
side eyeing me.
no, it froze, and I was like waiting for you to say something, and I was like, what's going on? The only reason
No.
I say D though is because look at how Valtteri's gone. Valtteri's been in the points as well. He's obviously, we know it's a different car, different situation, but I feel like I don't know if I would put Lando in C for now. With the way the car is and how it's been going, I would probably more say D. I honestly think he will be moving up there as we get along throughout the season, but I honestly think at the moment he's had a crappy start, and it's
Mhm.
C seems generous.
Okay. Well.
But
Okay. D is fine then.
in saying that though, you've also got DeVries who's had a DNF.
Mm.
So I'm like,
I don't know. Maybe we're a bit more lenient on DeVries because he's a rookie,
yeah,
but
I don't know.
maybe
I think
maybe he deserves a D tier as well. Why don't we put Lando in D for now, and we'll come
yeah,
back and we'll revisit our ratings um in a minute once we get to the end of all the drivers.
yeah, okay, yeah, I'm happy to do that. Next is our next Frenchie. We've got Esteban Ocon. I don't know what accent that was meant to be. This is a bit posh, really. Esty. Um, he had a pretty crap start to the season too. He DNF'd in Bahrain. Um, and copping a few little penalties there, going over the grid line, not waiting for his penalty in the pits. So that's probably a bit of a frustrating start for him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I believe he was up in the points for Saudi. And then obviously he joined Pierre in the Adios Club for Oz. They had, like you said, your French on French action.
Yeah. Yeah, he
And
was
he
up
was,
in the points for Saudi. He finished P8. So,
yeah,
yeah,
DNF first race. And he was doing well in Oz too, and then had, the DNF with
a
Pierre.
bit of a
So
situation.
a little bit of just yeah, decided they did want to get closer to one another. Have you seen? I think we talked about this on the podcast actually.
Yeah, we did. The video
Yeah, did
where they
we?
look
I was
like
gonna say I
where it looks like
that's
they're they're
yeah,
being
like
held
they're
at
being held
gunpoint.
hostage. Yeah, gun to the head. That's all I can think about when I think about the OzGP race in Alpine. Is that video
Yeah.
and
Look, I
it's
think I think maybe he's D tier, 2 DNFs and a points finish.
has he had two? I don't believe he's had two DNFs.
Yes, he has.
Does he?
We
Oh well,
we
yeah,
literally
DNF.
just
Sorry,
discussed this.
sorry. I was looking at something else. I'm so sorry. I was looking at a completely different driver then on my
I was
thing.
gonna say, Georgia,
I
we literally
I
just discussed that
apologize.
he DNF'd twice.
That was my fault. Sorry. I was looking at something completely different and I'm going, it's something. So sorry. Ignore that. Cut that. That didn't happen. Um,
Okay,
so would you
so
say C tier? Because I'd probably, yeah, D tier.
D tier, two
Yeah,
DNFs and a
giving
points
Lando D
finish.
tier after two DNFs and points finish. Ocon's been the exact same. They've both
Mhm.
been driving well, but they just haven't given us what we
Mhm.
want. Adios, amigo.
Adios. Now we
Next we
move to
have
Sergio Perez.
Checo. Checo,
Sorry,
Checo,
I stole your
Checo.
thunder. I didn't realize you were introducing him. Sergio Perez. Mr. Sergio Perez has finished second,
First.
um,
And then first.
first, and
Fifth.
fourth.
Oh, fourth?
Fifth?
Fourth or
No,
fifth?
fifth,
No,
fifth,
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 fifth.
fifth, 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 fifth.
Yeah. So,
Again, okay. I like Checo, and
mhm.
I know you want to see Daniel in the car, but I do believe Checo has an opportunity.
Look,
Don't know if he'll get world champ while he's here with Max, but he also dominates in the Red Bull when he can, and I think he deserves credit for
yes.
that. He might be a bit of a
Here's
controversial
my
man.
here's my little 2 cents
Oh,
on this whole situation.
okay.
My 2 cents is that Sergio Perez is a better driver than people give him credit for because he's up against Max. Max is
100.
obviously like the next level of driver that he's just like a lot of people are just
And
not
you can
quite
tell
on
Red
par
Bull's
with him,
obviously
and
seeing it as,
it's
Checo's their
just
second
tough.
driver.
It's tough to be in a team with a driver like that, and Sergio Perez doesn't get enough credit. However, I think if Sergio Perez doesn't start pulling it out of his ass, and I don't mean that as in he's a bad driver, I mean that as in I feel like Red Bull is expecting him and Max to be 1-2 every week, then he's going to have a tough time. And I don't think necessarily Daniel could do any better than Perez has done in the
Well,
car. I think
yeah, no.
he probably has the same capability, but he just might have that advantage of Christian Horner likes him.
You think
Christian,
Christian
like
Horner
Chris.
doesn't like Checo?
No, I'm just saying
What
Christian
are
Horner
you
likes
fading here for?
Daniel Moore. I'm saying that he likes Daniel Moore. I thought that was abundantly clear from the media. Obviously, I don't know behind the scenes, but like media
You hang out with
wise,
him often.
I do.
Okay.
I really
I'll
do.
give
Like
Checo
me,
credit
me and Daniel go way back.
because in Oz, Checo had shitty practice. I think believe in P3 he was having issues with the car, and they were
Mhm.
kind of having issues with the car all weekend, and they weren't very certain how he would
Mm.
perform with the car. And I know again there were all the DNS, but he still pulled his way through there and ended up in P5.
Yeah.
So I do think he deserves a bit more credit than you're kind of giving him.
I'm not giving. I'm not. I never
I
said
don't know,
that
like
he.
I think he's current. Like
No, I never said. I never said
I
anything.
never
I
said
said
that
I
he
was.
said he was bad. I'm just saying, like, I don't think Daniel
I'm
could have
giving
got it
him
in the
full
car. And
credit for his drivability. I literally said that. I said I think he's a really good driver, but when he's up
okay,
against Max, it's just so hard.
no, I meant more like I don't think if Danny was in the car on the weekend, he would have done any better. I think is
I
more
said
of.
that as well.
Did you? Then I wasn't listening at all.
Georgia, listen to what I say. I literally said I don't think Daniel could have done any better. I think he could have
It
done the
must have
same.
been you're cutting out because I thought you said that you think Danny could have done better. That's what. And if you watch back, you'll see me make a face where I go like,
Guys, just for reference, I can't see George's face right now. My phone, I'm using my phone as a camera, so I can't see George's face.
yeah. And so when we're freezing up, because you cut out in that whole bit and the bit prior, that's why I was like, and if you when you look back, you'll see my face that whole time was literally just at you. So again, I apologize. That's my mistake. I need to fix my internet or something because I'm losing you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I love Danny. He is my favorite driver, favorite one of my favorite human beings just generally.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's any better than Sergio Perez. I
yeah.
just don't.
Like we know he's got potential, but obviously he hasn't raced this year, so we won't actually know what he's like compared to
Yeah.
Checo. But I definitely think Checo is deserving of his seat. I don't think he should be getting kicked anytime
Sorry,
soon.
I thought you said C as in like C tier, not seat, and
Oh no, seat. Sorry, I meant seat. Yeah,
I
no,
was
no,
like, he's not a C tier
no,
driver.
no, no. I
Like,
would no. Sorry, no. I seat. Yeah, like I
yes,
think
no, no.
he's
Look,
very deserving of his
he
seat.
for sure deserves his seat, and he has for sure earned his seat.
Oh
That
yeah, he's been
that's for
through.
certain.
Yeah,
So, what would you call him an A tier?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, only because he's had a fifth. If not, I probably might have chucked him up with Maxi.
Yeah. Um, rookie number 2, Oscar Piastri.
Our Aussie. I was going to say our other Aussie, but Danny's not here.
Our
Well,
Aussie.
Belcher here, so yes, our other Aussie. Again,
Yeah,
he's
our
had
other
a
Aussie.
rough start to the season, but I
He
think
has.
again
So
that's
he's
the
had.
McLaren. DNFing. I think his was a power issue,
It
an
was definitely
electrical
some sort of
issue.
issue with the car and not
It
a
was an
crash.
electrical issue, and then
Uh, P15
yeah, so he finished
and
in
then
front of his teammate, but
P8.
they were like hanging around the back. They were on their own little race, doing their own thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I want to give.
and
I
then
think.
sorry, and a little congratulations on his first ever points in
Oh yeah,
at a
for
time
sure.
race. Like that's
Congratulations. Look,
woo! Give us a
I
confetti bomb.
want Oscar to do well. I do. I
Yeah,
don't want.
same. So do I.
I don't like McLaren as a team
Yep.
for many reasons, but Lando and Oscar as drivers, I like them, and I do
Yeah.
want Oscar to do well. I think despite everything that's happened, he didn't do anything wrong. He
No.
did what
God,
was best for him and what anyone else could have done,
exactly.
would have done. It's
Exactly right. You
just,
do what you
it
do for your
sucks that
career.
he got caught up in that situation.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah. That's the thing. You do what you do to get into your career, any situation, like and sometimes it means other people have to go, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And
Um,
that's just the way it is. Look at, I mean, Nikita Mazepin, completely different. That's a different story.
yeah, I was gonna say
Although
that's a bit.
I do want to touch base on that at some point because I have a lot to say about him.
Yeah, that's alright. Well, I'll add that to our album. Notebook. We actually need a notebook of what we're gonna.
I'll start making a Google Doc
I
or
was
like
just about to say no.
or
I was just about to say make a Google Docs.
yeah, so that we can put together a list of topics to discuss when it comes to
Yeah,
the
that's
actual
a good
pod.
idea. No, do that. We need to actually do that. Okay, back to
Okay. Anyways,
distracting.
I think he's probably D tier.
Yeah, I think at the moment he's DTL. Like again, it was amazing to see him get his first points, and especially with his teammate too. Bit iffy with McLaren. The car's just not looking its best this year as of far, like so far. Hopefully we
Mm,
see improvements because I do want him to have a decent rookie year at the least
yeah, absolutely.
for
Look,
sure.
everyone deserves a good-ish season.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
they don't need
anyone
to be
deserves a
traumatized so early on.
yeah, I'm not saying anyone ever deserves a bad season, but like especially early, you deserve an okay season.
You deserve like it wasn't too bad kind of season.
Well, like no one, no, as you said, no one wants to be traumatized this early.
Yeah,
Give
no,
him a year.
yeah. Then let it kick in. Then let it start to hurt.
Well, I mean that's literally what happens though, because
No,
everyone's like,
I
oh
agree
yeah,
with you. I just love being a smartass to
rookie.
you.
Like, everyone's like, yeah, rookie year, like give you some like leeway, and
Yeah,
then you start your second year of racing, and if you're not better, then they're like, fuck you, get
and
lost.
that's the issue with rookie years. It's very that if you're not performing well, you get a lot of shit. Like, and
Yeah,
then it's like, oh, well, they don't deserve their seats, and it's like, well, then who would you put in the seat? Like, they
yeah,
deserve the
it's
seat.
tough.
They've worked their asses off to get the seat. They've done F2, they've done F3, they've gone through, the European or whatever way they've gone, Formula E,
Mm,
all that kind of stuff. They've worked from a young age to get to here, so it's kind of like they are deserving. There's only 20 of them
yeah,
in the world who do
for
it.
sure,
There's a reason they're picking them. So,
for sure, for sure.
but moving on
Um,
to
to
Mr.
George
George
Russell.
Russell.
So
Again,
for
he's another
George, we've
person.
had a seventh, a fourth, and a DNF.
Yeah, oh, I was
So,
shattered with his DNF and Oz. He was doing so well.
and his DNF was a special one. His car
Yeah.
just went, "I'ma be the bullet from Mario."
The car was literally like, I bet, call it a day. Everyone else was leaving.
Yeah,
Why can't we go home?
and like that's where it was tough because I think Oz had the potential for so many different podium combinations, and I think
Definitely.
George could have been part of that.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And like, I, George is another driver who I believe has such great potential and is
Mm.
going to, like, I'd like to see him win a championship in the near future. Like, I think he's up there with, especially
I
if he's gone
think
through God, his
I think
competition as
at the
well.
yeah, I think he's got a few more years in him until he wins a championship, and that's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
because I think he's a bad driver by
I
any
think he's
means.
got
I just think
maximum potential.
he's up against world champions already. Like
Yeah,
he's up
and that's the
against
thing.
Max
And then you're
and
up against
Lewis and
Ferraris, and
Fernando,
you're up against
and
Checo.
Charles
Like,
is on his behind. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot going on for that to kind of, you know, occur
mm,
anytime soon. It's the same with like yeah, with Charles in a sense. Like he's obviously competing for it, but there's a lot of competition to get there.
yeah, it's
And I
obviously
do think,
also a lot harder to win your first championship than it is to win your second. Like mentally speaking,
mm,
obviously I don't know, but I would think mentally speaking, like once you've won one championship, you're like, I've got this. Like I
you
know how to
kind of
do
I
it.
think would find an ease, like
Yeah, there's
a
just a
comfort
sense of like
bracket to
I've
fall into.
accomplished it. I can
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, exactly.
But
Um,
competing for your first championship is tough.
yeah, 100%. Gosh, yeah.
So I don't
But
know.
I
Would
think
we?
George is another driver who has potential. He drives really well. Even last year did really well, had his first win. He's got potential, and he's had a pretty good start to the season. Other than what happened in Oz, which again wasn't his fault, was very unfortunate. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think. For now, I would probably put him in B tier with Charles and
That's what I
Pierre.
was thinking as well. I was
Wouldn't
thinking he's had
think
a
any
pretty
lower.
good start to the season. Seventh and fourth are pretty good positions to be in,
Yeah,
and his qualifying has also been pretty consistent as well.
again, yeah, and I think he would have stayed up on podium in odds if it wasn't for the car
I don't
cold.
know whether he would have gotten podium, but I definitely think he would have finished within the top 10 at the very least.
Yeah, right, okay, yeah. I think he was looking quite good, but then yeah, there was the issues if you have heard the radio messages of them telling him to, reserve his tires, like, and he was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
can't, Lewis up
yeah.
my
I
ass."
look, Oz. We need to do a full, like a proper
I think
Oz
Oz
GP
mentally
debrief
mind fucked everyone who's into F1.
because that was just a whole load of chaos. So
That was
let's write that in the Google Doc.
in the Google
Oz
Doc, in the
GP
Google Doc,
debrief, a
in the
proper one.
Google Doc.
Okay,
Next up,
moving on to Carlos Sainz.
Smooth
So,
Operator.
Mr. Smooth Operator
Galactic
had a fourth, a sixth,
and a
and
really painful, painful end to Oz GP.
a 12th,
Yeah.
which,
They-
look, he would have finished inside those points. But the
yeah.
FIA said no.
Yep, and they've re-reviewed it, and I mean, we won't know the reasons why. They've,
Mm.
Obviously we get given like a very brief sort of
We can
thing, but
we can view the FIA stewards' documents to an extent.
yeah, exactly. So it's kind of, I don't, it's hard to say if he was deserving or wasn't deserving. Like if you have watched the replays
Mm.
of the race, I know, I actually believe Lando mentioned it too, where Lando said it does look like he's locked up, but Fernando was on his racing line. Carlos was
Mm.
hitting. It honestly would looked more like a racing incident.
Hmm.
I don't think it was very fair, but it's in the
It is what
past.
it is,
It's kind of
unfortunately.
like, yeah, move on.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it now. He's been told no. They've been told no. So we've just got
Mm.
to see what's up next for him, really, and pray that he
So,
can pull some numbers out because he's another driver who has so much potential. Again, he's obviously a second driver to Charles, I believe. Um,
mm,
so it's but he does have potential and he does drive well. And I mean, he's been driving him a bit better than Charles, obviously so far. I mean, out qualifying him, finishing before him. But in saying that, well, Charles has had what 2 DNFs now. We
mm.
put Charles very high up for 2 DNFs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did
Now that I'm looking at that, I actually think Charles might need to come down to C for now.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if he's had two DNFs and we've put him all the way up in B tier. Sorry, Charles, we do love you, but like,
I know, I was just looking at
but
that, and the more we were
we just
saying, because Carlos has only had, well, he hasn't DNF'd at all, actually, tell a lie.
no.
He's been very good, and I hope we get another win from him too. He's another person I want to win from.
Look, I want everyone to win a race this season.
Do you reckon they should just let them each win?
Look, I think everyone, including the rookies, should win a race.
Yeah.
I'm joking. Look, I don't think any of the rookies will win. I don't think that their cars will give them that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I think
I would've
pretty much
just
everyone
let them
else has the opportunity
for
ish
podium, sort of, yeah.
for at least a podium.
Yeah, well, I do believe
At the
Carlos
very
is
least,
someone who will
for sure,
definitely be
Carlos.
up there. And I cannot
Um,
wait to see him back up on podium, hopefully with a win. I'm fingers crossed for another win from him because he's
mm,
someone who's got, again, such great potential.
mhm.
He's been killing it so far. Obviously, Oz was a downfall. It is what it is. Move past it. For now, I would probably put him in B with Pierre and George.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
I'll put him in the middle. But I don't. I put George at the front.
Okay.
Next stop, Mr. America, Logan Sargent.
Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent.
Logan. That's it. Okay, so no, no, I got nothing
That's it.
against Logan.
That's our
I mean,
rating.
well, we got a 12th in Bahrain.
Mhm.
16th in Saudi, and then a DNF in Oz
Yeah.
with De Vries.
So,
Again, he's a rookie.
mm,
Williams isn't too bad of a car. We've seen Alex doing pretty well in it too. I
yeah,
do think he will have some potential. I don't know how much.
I don't
Um,
know. Logan is confusing for me, I guess, because he did win F3, or he was the runner-up in F3.
um,
Someone want to fact check that for me?
yeah, on it.
And then I know he finished fourth in his F2 season.
Yeah, I know he finished fourth, but my
So
laptop
look,
just went flat, so I'll never know. He did.
obviously by no means is he a bad driver, but
He did win Rookie of the Year last year too.
yes, yes,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Like, look, I think he's someone again. He's got potential. There's a reason they've given him a seat. I believe he's only got a 1 year contract though, 1 or 2.
yeah. I think it's only 1 year.
I can't remember. I can't check either because my laptop's just died.
Okay, but I'd say maybe he's C or D. What do you reckon?
Well, he's only had one DNF. He's been doing pretty well. He's been obviously out of the pack with points,
Mm,
but P13 for a first race as a rookie,
mm,
not bad.
hmm.
Like, it's not the bottom. It's sort of midish, sort of.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, mm,
So
but
what do you
maybe
reckon?
we
C?
put him with the boys in C. But we've got this
Okay.
up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is C?
C?
I feel like this is going to make a lot of people angry. Just
Look,
this.
you'll just have to deal with it. This is
Everyone
our rating.
afterwards send us your ones that you have done and what you think, so we can
Yes, for
review
sure.
them and decide if we think you're right or wrong. Not that there's right or wrong answers, but we'll decide that once we see it.
Yes.
Next, Lance Stroll.
Lance Stroll. So, Lance, he had sixth in Bahrain,
He's
a
had a
DNF
DNF.
in Saudi, and a fourth in Melbourne.
Yes, he kind of pulled up in the fourth with, I believe that was more due to the science penalty
Mm.
that kind of gave him a bit of a up.
Yeah, but I mean, I gotta say, like we've seen Lance be a pretty good driver this season so far. Overall, like his racing, I don't know what he went away and did. Whether it was the fact that he broke his arms and
Oh yeah, of
was
course.
just
He came back with broken wrists,
broken wrists.
toes, bloody everything. And what did he get in Bahrain again?
Sixth.
That's a solid effort. I hurt my shoulder at the gym recently, and I've complained all week. So, like, honestly, and it's not even that I won't shut up about it. So to get in a car,
To get in a car after you've broken like half your body is so impressive.
oh, definitely, and to get P6 and like P4, and I know he had a DNF that wasn't his fault. It was more the car that was kind of slowing down, coming to the back, kind of having issues. Would you put him in B? Is that generous?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, is it a little bit too adventurous? But also, like,
But he's done so
six
much
and
better
four is
than
pretty good with a
Sargent.
DNF thrown in there.
I feel like
Like,
B.
especially sixth coming off broken bones. Like,
Yeah, I wanna say B. B, you happy with B?
yeah, I'm happy. I was thinking the same. I was like,
No
are we being
thoughts of
too
vehicle.
adventurous? But no, I think he's had just slightly better races than the guys in C.
Oh yeah, definitely, and that's the thing. He's had better races, and like we've said, he jumped in as a skeleton and still pulled through. So
Yeah.
Next up, Yuki Tsunoda. He's
Mr.
had a
Yuki
pretty decent season. I can't see the
had
salt there.
11th,
I'm useless to you all.
11th, and
He did finish in Oz.
10th.
A lot. Yeah, he did finish in Oz because I remember everyone screaming out, "Oh no, that's Yuki!" And I'm like, "No, that's not Yuki. Yuki's out there.
Yeah,
He's still
see,
going."
that's the thing.
Everyone
I was
thought it
like,
was Yuki.
I
I'm
was
not
near
too
it.
sure why, but everyone
I
like
don't know.
at the GP where I was around was thinking it was Yuki, and I was like,
Same.
no, no, no,
Thought
no,
it
no,
was
no, Yuki's
Yuki.
gone. Like, so he's had a pretty good
Yuki,
season
Yuki
too.
finished.
Yeah, Yuki was
Yuki
out of
finished.
it. He made it through. He was a survivor. He's got it. He
He
was
was one of the few
okay.
survivors.
He's just snuck on into P10.
Yeah.
He's been doing pretty well too. You know, P2, P11's quite consistent.
Mm.
So close to points each time. Like, he's just that smidge off. I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know how
he
far off
got
points
points.
he's
He
been.
got points in Melbourne, so
Yeah, yeah. I think he's been doing pretty well.
mm,
Hopefully he scores a few more points and we see him up there a bit this year.
yeah.
Hopefully we see him battling with Gasly a bit too. Get a
I
bit of, you
mean,
know,
look,
ex
the tiny
teammate down there.
towers might be where it's at.
Yeah, it's could be a good year for them. I'm hoping. I'm hoping for Yuki's sake and Nick's.
Maybe the being tiny will work to their advantage for both of them because they're both very small people.
Makes things 10 times easier. They're lighter. They go
They
faster in
are.
that case.
Imagine being like Alex and George and
I
stuff.
thought you were about to say imagine being like 5'3". Like
No,
what?
imagine being like 6 foot plus, like and being in an F1 car.
Literally, could you imagine? Dun, 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 dun.
So what do we reckon for Yuki? I
I
reckon
mean,
B or C.
yeah, I was thinking B or C.
I don't know. I feel like I want to award him points for consistency, but like at the same time, they've still been like still pretty middle of the road finishes.
Well, because what? Oh, George, Carlos, and Pierre have all finished in the points.
Mhm.
Pierre has once, has he? Twice.
Sorry.
How many times has Pierre finished in the points?
He's finished in the points twice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Like, and he survived through Melbourne. I would probably put him in.
Can we make a Yuki tier?
Yeah. Can we?
Can we make a tier for Yuki, like in between B and C?
Can you add a tier?
Yeah, go to the settings button and see if you can add it.
Oh, I gotta label it.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. Just got to move it down.
Move it down.
Yeah, between B and C.
Can't.
No, on the side.
Wait. Oh god, where's she going? I'm losing it.
What are you doing?
It's gone wrong.
There we go. We've got a Yuki tier.
Oh no, your camera's gone.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. It's gone on my screen. It says recording
Last
continues smoothly.
Last
Okay.
but not least, Jug on you.
Are we really going to leave Yuki in his own tier? I feel like we need.
No.
I feel like he's
C
B.
tier?
See?
C? Maybe like
I don't
C ahead of everyone else.
Okay, I can work with that. Okay. Yes. Last but not
Okay,
least,
Jug on you.
Guan Yu.
So Joe finished 16th in Bahrain
Yep.
and 13th in Saudi,
Yep.
and then oh, he finished 9th in Australia.
Okay, so again, being pretty consistent, like with staying alive, surviving.
Yeah.
Within, hasn't DNF'd yet, so he's doing good, doing good.
Surviving
Yeah,
despite the chaos.
surviving, with how it all is. With everyone else has kind of been struggling and DNFing and calling it quits and catching. So he's doing good in that sense.
Yeah.
Was that P8 you said in Oz? So points.
P9. P9?
Still points.
Yeah, I think it was P9.
Yeah, so she's still receiving points in Oz. So
Mm-hmm.
gotta love that. That what P18 and P13 was it?
P16.
I'm just guessing numbers at this point.
P16?
I'm just picking numbers that sound good. I don't fucking know.
P16. P16 and P13.
That's 2 off.
You were close. So,
I was
I don't
close.
know. I'd say he's had pretty reasonable drives, made it into the points.
Yeah.
But
Would you say,
nothing too spectacular, you know?
yeah, would you say D tier as well then?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the thing is, okay, wait. If we're putting him in D tier, I think Logan needs to come down to D tier because he DNF'd in Oz. He hasn't finished in the points yet, whereas
Okay, bring him down.
I
Bring
thought
him
we had
down.
to argue more. I had a whole argument
I was
ready.
like,
Okay.
I was like, you know what? Like, as soon as you said he hasn't finished in the points and he's had a DNF, I was like, you know what? You make such a good point.
Yeah.
Bring him
Because
down.
again, we're just going off the races that have happened so far. We're trying to just bring it to that, have a kind of idea of how they have driven in the past, but more base it just on what's happened recently. So then when we
Yeah.
do our mid-season review of this, we know kind of where to go from,
Yes.
and
Also,
we
I
can,
barely have memories of how we started this, so forgive us if our ratings are a little all over the place.
yeah, could be a bit of like a
But I don't know. Are we happy with this?
um. The, I'm just looking at C tier.
I don't know. I'm happy with
I
it.
think it's fine. What did we say Nick got? Nick's DNF'd.
Nick has DNF'd. He finished 14th in Bahrain
So
and
behind.
14th in Saudi.
And Logan was 14th and 16th.
13th and
13th and
16th.
16th, sorry.
They
In
can't.
DNF.
They can't both finish in 14th.
I know I meant 13th. Now that makes it hard because now I feel like I don't know where I put Logan or Nick. I feel like
I say we just leave it as it is.
okay, all right. My might
Too much
stuck
brain
on
power.
Nick and
Too much
Logan.
brain power to try and figure out where they should go.
Okay, we'll leave it as this.
Yes.
I'll let you have
All
it.
right.
And we shall return in the middle of the year.
To move some people around, hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully we see everyone moving up the charts, not down.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Imagine Max goes from S to D.
I can't imagine that. I can more see like us
Well,
having to bring A
that would have to
to
be like a
C
freak
with it.
accident. Like Max doesn't finish a single race ever again.
He just gets tummy aches for the
Kind
rest
of
of
thing.
the season and can't come.
Oh, poor thing. Yeah, but no, let us know what you guys think of our ratings.
Yeah,
And
please
if you do your
comment
own,
your own and send it through
send
to
them
us.
in. Let us
You can
review
send it
them.
to us on our Instagram, which is just Girls in the Paddock _ I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is
Yes.
also our TikTok. And yeah, so send them through to us. We'll review
Please
them.
do.
Decide if we
And
like them
follow
or
us
not.
too.
Yes, please.
But yeah,
Please
we hope you guys enjoyed.
yeah.
And
Awesome
we'll
to
be
do another
back
episode.
soon with more.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.